Hey everyone, it's Byron. I'm here again to testify for Jesus Christ. I'm doing some videos right now. You're not going to hear from a lot of people, although there are some people that may do some similar to this. I'm talking about dealing with the Antichrist. I'm talking about dealing with the beast system. I'm talking about dealing with persecution, tribulation, the things that are coming down the pike. There's plenty of people out here false teaching us and telling us we're going to be raptured out of here. There's no need to worry. I can tell you this, my Bible tells me there is reason to prepare, and my God is showing me there is reason to prepare. So I don't want to miss out on this, and I don't want you to miss out on this, and I don't want you to be taken away by somebody telling fables and stuff like that. The bottom line is this. If you are a child of the King, Satan wants you down. And you have a life to live. And you don't have to live it in fear. You can live it for Jesus Christ and do as he has instructed us to do. No reason to fear, reason to prepare mentally for the game ahead. And the game is going to get rough here in the United States. Right now, there's tons and tons of people, especially people in Christendom, who have latched on to the fable of the pre-tribulation rapture. You can't prove it by scripture. No one ever brought a verse up that presents itself to be a fact, yet they're out there teaching it. Okay, so I want to go to Matthew 24. I want to start at verse number 9, and I just want to go through some things that Jesus Christ told us about the end. The disciples had asked Jesus about, tell us about your coming and the end of the world. In verse 9, Jesus stated this: Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And I want to focus on offended. I want to focus on what happens there in verse number 10. First of all, offended, my inkling or whatever I naturally go to when I hear offended, oh, well, he says something bad about me and that offended me. That's how I think. If you look at this word a little further, in the Greek, the word is scandalizo. When you look at the definition of it, it's to scandalize. Now, don't get wrapped up on what is to scandalize right now. Maybe you know. But in essence, look for the following information. It's to entrap, that is to trip up. Figuratively, that would be to stumble or entice someone to sin or entice someone to go into apostasy or displeasure, to make, offend. Okay, so when you're dealing with that word offend or offended, in place of the Greek word scandalizo, you're dealing with people that are enticed to sin, people that are going into apostasy as a result of the scandalized or being scandalized. And let's go there and look at the English dictionary word for that. The definition for that. Pulled it up. I not only pulled that up, but I pulled up propriety because it also is included in the definition for scandalized. But anyway, under scandalized, which is the definition of the Greek word used where we get the word offended, many shall be offended. You have scandalize represents to shock or horrify someone to a real or imagined violation of propriety or morality. And I just included propriety because I wanted to know what that meant, and maybe you don't know or you do know, but anyway, here it is. Propriety, the state or quality of conforming to conventional accepted standards of behaviors or morals. And after I look at that, I'm just like, okay, so what may happen in verse 10 of Matthew 24, something comes about and then it causes these people to be scandalized or be in shock or be horrified. And you can only imagine if you look at verse 9, what happened in verse 9, you know what happened to them. It says, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, or scandalized, or put into shock or horror, or go into apostasy. They'll start betraying one another, and they'll hate one another because the pressure is just so intense. When I was in the Army, there was a time we got called to war. You know, we had this code, man, and they said the code over the phone. I knew 2 hours from now, dude, we're down at getting ready to get on airplanes. I mean, it was serious. Some of the soldiers told me in preparation to move out and get down there, some of the soldiers said, I didn't sign up for this. I signed up for an education. But yet they were in the Army, and armies have to fight. But for some reason, he never considered the cost. And that's what I'm talking about in the Christian walk. What we have to do now, we have to consider the cost, so that when the time comes that they deliver people up to be afflicted and to be killed and be hated of all nations, we don't melt or become offended or become scandalized or horrified or terrorized to the point that we turn or apostatize away from Jesus Christ and then start pointing fingers. Well, he's a Christian. He's a Christian. I'm not a Christian. Once I had a dream. People were in the stands, and the people that were in the stands watching me be persecuted, be whipped. I was chained up, my arms were up in the air, and I was being whipped. Just like with a cat o' nine tails that happened to Jesus. People in the stands, I recognized them. I knew them from church. So, man, that's what this is talking about. This is not some figment of someone's imagination. This is not a fable taught in kindergarten church. This is the real deal, the scripture, directly from Jesus Christ. Okay? In Mark, in the parable of seed and sower, Jesus goes to talk about it. He says, some of them have no root in themselves and endure but for a time. Afterward, when affliction or persecution arises for the word's sake, immediately they are offended. Immediately they are scandalized. Immediately they are horrified or terrorized to the point they give it up. Oh, no. Man, I'm changing over. Where's that mark of the beast? And where's that statue I can bow down to? I'll pay my respects. I'll worship the beast because I don't want any part of this rough stuff. When I signed up for this, I signed up for a rapture. They didn't tell me about this. Unfortunately, there's enough false teachers out there to not tell you the real deal. So, I want to go to Revelation, and I want to just show you in Revelation what Revelation records about people that are offended, people that are scandalized, people that are whatever. If you get to the point to where the beast is out and the beast says, worship me and bow down to my image and receive the mark. And here's what happens. Revelation 14, verse 9. And it says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in the forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever. And they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. In the last video, I talked about where I read where Paul said, if you keep the faith. And here it says, here are they that keep the commandments of God and, you could say, keep the faith of Jesus. If it's stated that way, that means there are people who could be offended and apostatize. resign their beliefs in order to stay alive. You see what I'm saying? That's it. Okay. Without trying to say a bunch of stuff that's not on record, let's go to Daniel. Let's talk about this time. Okay. Daniel prophesied of the time that's coming. He's prophesied of the wicked times ahead. He prophesied of the Antichrist. He prophesied of how things would be in that time. It's recorded in several places in Daniel. However, I want to look at Daniel 11, verse 32. And it says there, and such as do wickedly against the covenant shall be corrupted by flatteries. I'm just translate that real quick. The people that aren't into God, don't know their God or whatever, they're going to be susceptible to the flatteries that are going on. And they'll be drawn in easy, or they'll get corrupted easily by the flatteries. And I can tell you, man, the flatteries, it's easy. Oh, man, you're just a great guy, all that stuff. Oh, I'm going to be on your side. The Antichrist can come in using flatteries. Let's continue on. But the people that do know their God shall be strong and do exploits. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Now, to get the mindset, to get your head in the game, to get ready, you can't go in. Man, let's just talk about a football game real quick, okay? Now, if you go to play a football game, or maybe you never had, let's just, put it any sport, anything that's a little rough on your body to get done. You know what I'm saying? Anything like that. When you go into it knowing it's going to get rough, you have a better chance at dealing with the roughness. Okay? So those that know their God shall be strong. Let's get strong now. Let's get strong in the word. Let's get strong in the testimony. Let's get strong in the body. Let's get ready to do exploits. That's what Daniel prophesied. I don't want to miss being a part of that one. I want to miss the first part. I don't want to be corrupted by these flatteries, fables, etc. I want to be strong and to do exploits. Daniel goes on. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many. Yet they shall fall by the sword and by flame, by captivity and by spoil many days. Now when they shall fall, they shall be holpen or helped with a little help. But many shall cleave to them with flatteries. I don't really understand that last part. I'm not going to sit there and spend a lot of time with that. But I know what I just read. I just read about a ball game that's going to be rough. You know what I'm saying? I read about a game that if I don't get my game face on, if I don't get my head straight, that game is going to overwhelm me. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, but if I'm ready for that game, if my mind is straight, I'm ready for that game, I will do what the Lord has called me to do in these end times, regardless of how bad things get. I'm not going to be offended. I know it's coming. I'm not going to melt and not be the good soldier of Christ that I was meant to be. I was born for such a time as this, and I will not shrink back. That's my mentality going into the game. You can't play this game thinking, oh my gosh, we're going to get slaughtered. We're going to get, man, dude, soon, let's just say this. Let's say if the Lord has destined that Byron has to be, give his life. You know what I'm saying? The very split second that occurs, I'm with the Lord. To be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. So if you were to be around and you're thinking, oh no, Byron's gone, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be a happy camper right then when that happens. And then I'm going to be helped during the process of losing my life. This sounds, this may sound crazy. This may sound I'm loony. Dude, I am merely reading the Bible and telling you what's in the Bible. I'm making sure you understand what you signed up for. I don't want you to realize you get the call code red and you'll be like, oh no, I didn't sign up for this, man. I'm already offended. They told me this was going to be a gravy train. Get him. He's a Christian. Not me, dude. Oh man, no way. I changed my loyalty. I'm not gonna serve Jesus anymore. I'm gonna bow down, give my obeisance to this image over here. You see what I'm saying? And we got to think through it. We got to play through it. You got to war game it. You got to pray and ask for strength. You got to just hold on and do what you can. Do what you can. Get to that point where you serve the Lord and know his perfect will for your life. And his perfect will for your life possibly is to teach. Because it said they will instruct many. I guarantee you, it doesn't matter who you are. You can tell somebody something about Jesus Christ. Instruct many. There's no doubt. Okay, man. This is just kind of the stuff I'm picking up. It's the antidote to the fables being taught. It's the truth. This is the true Bible that we're reading here. It's not a point where you say, oh, that part of the Bible, that's not for us. That goes over here, and we put it into the category for that's the Bible that the crazies read. And then we, dude, this is the real deal. This is it. If any man comes to you and says what I'm saying isn't so, they are telling you the Bible is a lie. That's what they're telling you. Okay, I'm gonna let you go, man. This is the game time's coming up. We can't sit around and let people teach us how to be soft and let people teach us how to be weak and oozy and all this stuff. We gotta get tough. We gotta get rough. And I'm not talking about trying to do harm to somebody. I'm talking about get the eye of the tiger and get in the game and just be ready to play this game, to instruct many, to do exploit, to do whatever you do besides be offended and say, oh no, man, there's some other guys over there. I'm out. I'll bow down to the beast. That's what you got to do. So I'll let you go.